All right, Grasshoppers, she is back. Everybody loves her. Like, when's Allie coming back? Oh my God. We have to
No,
have
I don't
Allie
believe
back.
it.
That's true. That's true. When you get on the show, everybody's like, oh God, I love when you do a show with Allie. So here we
Oh,
go
come
once
on. You
again.
may be lying, but let's just assume you're saying the truth. And so may I say a special thank you to your grasshoppers? I think of them all the time.
Good.
May I
Yes,
please
sure.
be a grasshopper now?
Yeah. Oh, you're definitely a
Is
grasshopper.
that
You're definitely
possible?
a grasshopper. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good,
No
good.
question. So, how's everything the boys doing? The grilled cheese in the toaster, how's that going?
It's been a few days since grilled cheese in the toaster. I was gone in North Carolina, so I don't really know what was happening while I was gone. But today is the first day of school for both boys in over a year.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of a big day. So I made them lunch beforehand, Tom, because I looked at the school lunch menu and then I thought about what I could do. So school lunch is great, but it was Domino's today.
Oh.
So I figured maybe make them lunch. I don't know, turkey and cheese versus Domino's. What do you think?
Oh, no, definitely turkey and cheese. It's fun. There's a good example. We talked about this last week where there's a school with kids and they've got a choice of healthy foods or pizza, right? And they go with pizza. Like, that's just, to me, it's we're not thinking through enough all the things that we can do to be healthy, not just because of the pandemic, but just generally in life, right?
I think it's one of those things where, like, you know, for kids on balance, it's probably fine. And probably the school people who are developing the lunch menus throw in pizza once a week because they know kids will like it and they'll eat. And there are some kids where they're really going to be short on calories unless they eat, or their attention struggles during lunch because they want to chat and they just don't eat. And so if you put pizza in front of them, they'll actually get the food in. So maybe, but those of us grown-ups, right, who have choices and, you know, really should try to be more healthy. So you remember I did an experiment while I was on the road this weekend, right? You got some reports from me from the road.
That's right. Okay, first I want to ask you a little bit about the virus. Things are starting to open up. Like here in New York, they're allowing 10% capacity at Madison Square Garden for basketball and hockey games. Your kids are back in school. So do you think that's indicative of where we're at with the virus then, that things are opening up and changing?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, because I really wanted to share a name of a person with your grasshoppers, someone I really, really like and have been listening to. So her name is Monica Gandhi, and she is an infectious disease MD at UCSF. She's been spending most of her life studying HIV, and now she's turned her attention to coronavirus. So I've told you over the last couple of weeks that I tend to listen to people for a long time before I follow them on Twitter. And she has definitely earned my following. So if any of your grasshoppers want to go learn more detail beyond what I say, she's a really great one. There are others, at least 5 others, and I'll mention someone new every week that they can add to their list to follow. But Monica Gandhi, Gandhi, I believe, and on Twitter it's Monica Gandhi 9. But so I was kind of listening to her current thoughts this morning before I chatted with you, and for a long time, we've been saying like kind of 30% capacity is a decent number to shoot for, to kind of keep the density down. And I've looked at a couple studies of density and things like that, where cases and transmission is followed, and then they compare it to density by looking at mobile phones and that kind of data, you know, like tracking data. These big phone companies can actually accumulate all of this tracking data and then compare density in certain locations to infection rates in certain cities and things. So it's kind of interesting to follow. So I think 10% is really low and probably very safe. Even up to 30% should be fine. But all that said, I think that what Monica would tell you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, what Monica would tell you is there is every reason to be optimistic right now. And she has not only the training, but the experience and the knowledge to really say that with confidence. And it's something that I've been feeling for a while, but you know how cautious I am. I never want to overstate my knowledge or anything. But I feel very comfortable saying that given the vaccinations that we have available and given their efficacy in the clinical trials and even in the real world tracking, you know, they're looking at vaccination rates and then also looking at the variants and things. There's really good protection against serious disease and hospitalization. And those are the 2 things we really worry about, right? Whether or not you get a cold or feel like you have a cold, which is kind of how I felt, that is not as much of a concern as preventing very serious disease among the people who are most vulnerable and most likely to experience that. So I think we're in a really, really good place.
Good. But so these new strains you hear about, is just that they're new? Is there stronger strains, weaker strains, or just new strains?
Well, I guess I would just say that coronaviruses do mutate, and they don't get to earn the badge strain until they actually have a different biological function. And so right now there's still actually variants. And there are probably, I mean, you know me, I was talking about bats last time, and I've been listening to too many people talking about bats and coronaviruses in caves and things, but there's 2,000 different strains of coronavirus in one cave right now among bats. And so, I mean, coronaviruses are things that humans have lived with for a long time. And right now, because we've been with them so long, they have mutated enough that they are the common cold virus, very rarely causing anything real serious. And I think I mentioned this once before, viruses are super clever. They actually don't want to cause you so much harm and disease that they won't exist in your body long enough to transmit to the next host. They really want to, right? That would be stupid of the virus to like knock Tom Laidlaw out before they got to go find someone new, right? So the idea that the most advantageous thing for a virus to do is to mutate so that it's more easily passed. And so that it stays in the host long enough that it can be passed. And so making the host very, very sick, such that you would go to your bedroom and stay in your bed and not be around people, is not smart for a virus. So they're going to go probably the other direction, right? And encourage you to go out and, you know, go have a good time, feel a little bit off, just like we used to. Remember, like over a year ago when we had a cold, but we still went to work because we were tough? Yeah, that's what we're going to end up getting back to. It's just a cold.
So the virus is that smart that it evolved.
Well, we don't want to anthropomorphize it too much, but I mean, if you just think about evolutionary advantage, it doesn't really serve the virus any purpose to kill you or to make you very sick such that you're off, hidden away. If you think about the first SARS virus, it was actually more serious. Remember, up in Canada, it was kind of a big deal, right, Tom? Do you remember in 2009? Yeah. So that was a bigger deal and more severe disease. But if you recall, it didn't actually get to expand around the globe quite as much, right? It was more quickly contained.
Oh, that makes sense. Very good. Yeah. That's nice. The way you explained that was excellent. I never would have thought about that. Very good. Very good.
That's why I love viruses, because they're really like, again, we don't want to, make them too human, but if you just think about what suits, something well from an evolutionary perspective, it's kind of logical.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's very good. All right. So one of our pet peeves you and I have together, and Bill, we have him on too, is the state of our health here in the U.S. in general with the foods we eat and all that kinds of stuff. And you brought up a very good point that some of it's financial too, that a family can go to McDonald's and spend $3 on a greasy cheeseburger and fries. And if they want to get something healthy food, it's going to cost them a lot more than that, depending on where they're going.
Yeah.
So you've done a little bit of research, have you? Here's the thing everybody needs to know about Allie too. So you don't have to ask Allie to do any research. Just have Allie on the show and she will go do research.
Yeah, I like to check my assumptions. I like to, think about things and then wonder about things, create a hypothesis. This is science, right? Hypothesis. I wonder. And then actually go collect data and then go, was I correct or not?
Okay.
So yeah, we talked about two Whoppers or whatever for $3, I think I saw. And remember I said that gram per gram fat actually gives you more energy, right? It's 9 calories versus 4.5. And so to a degree, if you eat a higher fatty food, you're going to stay full longer potentially.
Okay, let me interrupt you though. Which fats? Yeah. The bad fats are the trans fats. The good fats are the polyunsaturated, monounsaturated fats, correct? And some saturated fats. Right.
So they're not good for you, but they will keep you full longer. I mean, they're going to pack more calories on, which is also why you can get heavier with them, right? Because you're eating like the same weight of food, but you're getting double the calories.
Okay.
So what I did while I was on the road with young Ben going to hockey, and by the way, I apologize that he wouldn't show you his guns last time while we were live. He was very shy about it.
He's been doing all the pull-ups and everything. That's right.
He's been doing good pull-ups, but he won't show you. Okay. So while we were traveling for hockey, the only really decent food that I'm aware of on the road that's on the fly good food is at Subway. I did try to stop at a gas station and I looked really hard at a gas station for decent food. And I don't have any good reports for the Grasshoppers, but maybe other Grasshoppers elsewhere can recommend a good gas station chain. But what I did is run the numbers. Nice. And so what I'm going to report to you is my findings. So for Ben and I to eat at Subway, it was around $12 for me to get a salad and for Ben to get a 6-inch sandwich. Yeah. And then, it was just $12 for that. And then, of course, we added on drinks and chips and stuff to kind of keep in the car. So I'm just counting the salad and the sandwich. And then I went to our groceries from the store and I just added up how much it is per pound for turkey or roast beef or ham or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then figured out, so if you have a pound of meat, and 4 ounces is a decent size serving, right, Tom, for meat? That's pretty reasonable. So for a pound, that's 16 ounces. And so out of 1 pound, 16 ounces, you can get 4 servings of a meat. And so just to cut this all short, you can actually make 8 different meals. So sandwiches for Ben and salads for me. So that's 4 days worth of food for the price of 1 trip into Subway for him and me. If you were to go shopping and then make your own food, and that includes two bagged salads. I don't have a lot of time. I'm super busy. And so I am not above taking a bagged salad and dumping it in a bowl. To me, that's fine.
Salad, sure. Yeah.
I've even eaten out of the bag like a horse. Like
Allie, you're sharing too much information, Allie.
No, it's fine. Because I mean, that's basically what they. So the funny story. So in the Subway where I went, it took like 23 minutes to make a salad because I don't think they've made a salad in a while. So they're like, "Where's the bowls?" And like, "How do we do this?" So I don't know. It's kind of funny. But yes, you can do that. The only challenge is it takes more time. You have to go to the store and then you have to prep it at home, and you also have to have some of those little like. Things you keep in your freezer to keep your food cold.
Right.
Because you shouldn't really keep meat out all day and eat it. I mean, it's probably fine for a couple hours, but.
So if you're going to go someplace, you can travel. That's a good point. So you got to have your Tupperware or your sealed bags or whatever, and then have those frozen things that you put inside a bigger bag to keep things cold still. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But you get in the habit of doing that all the time, and you've got all that stuff. Like you shop, let's say you shop once a week. You've got all the equipment you need, the cooler, the frozen things. You're like even your Tupperware now, you get Tupperware at Costco for $20. You can get like 100 pieces or whatever it is. And it might exaggerate a little bit, but yeah. So now you've got everything you need to make your meals all the time.
Yep. You're set. The only downside I thought about all of this, I have 2 teenage boys and they're big and they eat a lot. One of them would go through, like if you're keeping food at home and you have a plan for a week for all your meals, but you have a big boy who likes to come down and raid your fridge. Without like checking first, you're going to go through the good food fast because they're just going to be snacking on good food. So I was thinking, that might mess up your plan, but then I guess you just buy more good food or hide your supply because I don't want them eating mom's food.
Which mom's is the real good food? Is that?
Right. Maybe mom should get like, actually, I was thinking about this. So, you can get those prepackaged, Oscar Mayer, whatever, sliced meats, or you can go to the deli. Now that you used to have to wait forever in the deli to get your meat sliced, but now they actually have pre-sliced bags. Yeah. So that's not so bad.
Fresh sliced meat that they have. They have it at Stop and Shop too. So what's our conclusion then? And so as much as we initially thought the fast food was a less expensive way to go, but not as healthy. And now we realize, no, you can at home get a healthier food for even less money than the fast food, or at least somewhat the same money. And
right. I think you can. I think we found a way to match much healthier food, probably even much more filling food than you can get. Oh, there's the words I wanted to mention to you. I'm not going to spell it correctly, so I won't even try. But there's a hormone that causes you to feel really, really, really like angry, hungry, and it's called ghrelin. I remember reading about it like 4 years ago. And so maybe next time I'll read up on this and be more fluent about ghrelin. But it's one of these things that if you don't manage it, and I think the worse quality food increases your secretion of ghrelin. So it's like a bad feedback loop you end up getting into.
Yeah.
So maybe eating better food and more filling food means that eventually it might take a few days to retrain your body, but maybe you'll secrete less ghrelin.
And how big are you? So I've gotten bigger at actually reading the ingredients when I buy foods at the store, the sodium level, the carbs, the fat, all those things. And that's a good habit. Like you can go buy crackers, let's say. That's why we want to have cheese and crackers. Well, some crackers are really high in trans fat if they got a lot of butter in them or whatever. And then other crackers, they get a whole grain cracker that still tastes good and is a lot less fats in it too. So really, I think it's really important to really read the labels, right? Like again,
I think so. I mean, I'm guilty of eating some Cheez-Its and things, but maybe I could go with the low-fat Cheez-Its and maybe not half a box at a time.
Well, and again, that's the key thing. There should be no expectation of being perfect. In fact, I think if you're trying to be perfect with your diet, that you never eat bad foods, it's going to become so much drudgery. You're not going to want to do it, right? It's got to be. You've got to enjoy your foods, but like beware, like 90% of the time, 80% of the time that you're putting the healthy foods in your body. I agree.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that because if you look forward to certain things, like we don't watch what we're eating terribly carefully on Sundays. Just for example, my husband makes a great plate of appetizers and things. We have a glass of wine. And so we call it Sunday plate. And I like to earn Sunday plate. So if you have something a little naughty, then you just earn it. And it just makes the whole thing much more pleasurable. So like going running or walking is not drudgery. It's, I get to earn this.
Right.
And you know, for me,
you know what worked for me too? I use this app by Under Armour. It's called MyFitPal. So you get it and you put in your goals and everything, and it'll tell you, okay, here's generally speaking the number of calories you can put in per day, and then here's the percentage. It has like a pie chart, and then there's percentage of protein, fats, and carbs. And you don't have to be exact with that. It's just when you put in your foods, it's just giving you an idea. And like, as you know, like if you're eating a lot of salmon and avocados, the fats may be higher than you want, but those are actually good fats. Right. So it's like just understanding what you're putting into your body. It isn't just, to me, I have heard some people say calories are calories. Well, I don't believe that. Calories are calories.
No, I don't think so. Hey, does yours have the little SKU thing where you can scan your food and then it inputs it automatically? Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Definitely. And when I make a new recipe or something, like on Sunday in the cooking show for the Grasshoppers, I made a bolognese sauce with the turkey pasta. So I put that all in. As a recipe, put all the ingredients in. So that's my recipe. So every time I make it, it's got how many calories I'm putting into it. So
I actually was comparing your pictures really carefully on Instagram to try to understand something. So did Tom eat 2 bowls of that, or did you just eat 1? Was that the same bowl you took a picture of?
Well, I wanted to, that's a very good question. So I wanted to make sure that everybody could see my roasted red peppers that were in there. So I took a picture of it before I put any cheese on top of it. So that got rid of the roasted red peppers. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you ate. You ate just 1 bowl.
Yes. Just 1 bowl. Yes. Yeah.
Now, how deep is that bowl? Like this, or like how much did you eat?
Yeah, but about that, like usually around, I didn't actually, I've got a scale. I didn't weigh it. I should have weighed it too, but it's, it's like 2 or 3, like a normal size bowl, like 2 or 3 inches thick.
Okay. I wanted to show you something. You were talking about making mistakes and not being perfect. Yeah. I wrote down a kanji for the grasshoppers.
What is that?
Can you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
It's super pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's backwards on your screen. Does it say ito? Intention? Intention?
Intention, yeah. Is that what ito means?
Intention, yeah. And so I think it's a good word to remember. I was listening to podcasts on the way in Japanese on the way to the hockey games. So you use car time to learn things. And I heard somebody say itoshite. And when Japanese ends in te, it's like command form. It's like, do this. So I was curious, what is itoshite? So I looked it up, and it's intention. And I think it's a really good word to think about in how we relate to people and also how we treat our own bodies. Like, have the intention to treat it really well and know that you're going to fall on your face sometimes. There have been times when I've fallen on my face in interacting with other people where my intention is totally good, but they didn't perceive the whole experience in the way that I wanted. And this whole pandemic thing has been a real challenge for people in public health to get it right, to get the messaging right, to get the caring in their hearts that they actually feel for people to come across properly. And I think it's really important to be able to say, I'm really, really sorry that you experienced something less than what I intended.
Right. I agree with that too, Dick. I know for me, for a long time, like I was really guarded about, expressing my feelings. Like if I just a person in my life, say like, I really enjoy the fact that you're in my life. I've said that to you now. Like, I mean that, like it's really important that you're in my life. I would never have said that before. I think it's like I don't know, the male thing is like, is that a weakness? Like, are you too soft speaking like that or whatever? Yeah. To me now, I realize it's the opposite way around. That's a strong person. So like, you're right. So like live with intention, like treat that other person with intention, like really think about the things you're saying. But like you said, you're going to screw up sometimes. You're going to make a mistake.
Yeah. But it's really a very lovely experience to look someone in the eye. And even if they're still annoyed with you, just like really look them in the eye and say, I'm really sorry. And I'll try to do better next time. Yeah. And I think people are generally good people, even though this pandemic, it seems to have brought out a lot of, negative emotions and a lot of, controversy and irritation and annoyance and lots of, bad stuff. If you immerse yourself in a world of, like you have, Tom, of learning, you've been talking a lot about learning. If you immerse yourself in some different worlds where learning is the focus, like learning a language, maybe some of your grasshoppers studied Spanish in high school, maybe they can go back to studying Spanish again and listening to Spanish podcasts. And the moment that you hear a word and then you figure out what it is and then you hear it again, you're like, oh, I learned that. You do get a dopamine rush. Yeah. And I think that just putting yourself in some different worlds that allow you to experience that dopamine rush that you probably get from lifting weights too.
Yeah, totally.
Like, right, you keep trying for a higher and higher weight, or at least more reps at the same weight.
Yeah.
That's the way that works is, it's really cool. I'm sorry, I just want to mention one thing. I'm sorry. The gaming community understands dopamine. Like, if you understand why games are really addicting, it's because they know that people are trying to level up. And when your brain senses there's a challenge I could get to, that's when it's primed to release dopamine.
Right.
So you have to have a little bit of challenge in order for dopamine to be released. And that happens with food, with lifting, with learning, good stuff.
I find that with everything in my life now too. Well, I feel like I'm getting more that's all of my life I live like that. So I went to the store today. I was going to go buy my lottery tickets. I'm determined I'm going to win the Mega Millions tonight. Okay, it's guaranteed. And I got out of the car, and there was a glass bottle sitting on the parking lot. And at first I walked by it and said, no, I can't walk by that. I have to go back, pick it up and put it in the garbage. Right. And it's like, it was the funniest thing. It gave me the biggest rush. I guess like the dopamine. I am living the life that I want to live. This glass bottle. So it's pretty cool.
Right. I feel like it's good luck to leave the bathroom in a public place better than I found it. So I will actually do this. I will actually take toilet paper, put it on my hand, and then go pick up the toilet paper that's on the floor and stick it in the toilet.
Go I'm the same way in the gym now. So I go, as you know, I go in the gym all by myself in the morning, and it's, people, if they don't rack the weights properly, now you have to have all the 5s in the 5 rack and all the 10s in the 10 rack. And if they're not there, I find myself I'm straightening out everybody else's mess that they made from the night before. And I'm getting a total kick out of it too. Like, I'm just getting all jazzed up because I'm fixing it and making it the way it's supposed to be. So it is fun.
You're getting to be very Japanese. You're getting to feel probably what most Japanese people feel, which is taking care of the world around them.
Yeah. Totally.
And I think it does feed you. We talked about this a little bit on the phone, where your practice in the gym, if you begin carrying your attention to detail and your training regimen that you do so well in the gym, you are bringing that into the rest of your life. Yeah. That's what Budo, that's what the practice of martial arts teaches you to do, is not just in the dojo, but bring that intention, right, that Ito, out into the rest of your life.
Very interesting.
And try,
That's cool. I find myself now too. So when I walk every morning at this beautiful place, Todd's Point, so a lot of the same people you see all the time.
Tom's Point.
Tom's Point, exactly. That's what it should be. And so there's some people. Some people don't stop and say hello. I say hello to everybody, and they'll walk right by me. I was walking with a friend the other day, and I told her, I said, these people around here, nobody wants to say hello all the time. I walk around here, people just keep walking by, but I was laughing about it. Every person, because she was with me, every person that walked by us said hello all of a sudden. So
really?
What was it, grouchy old man? Nobody wanted to say hello to me or whatever.
That's funny.
Just watching it happen, yeah. I don't know if it's an intimidation thing or whatever. People think like, oh, and I'm loud too, like it's early in the morning, it's 6:30 in the morning, and hey, how you doing? And all this.
They probably think you're just drunk or something, like who's up that early in the first place and who's happy about it. I was wondering, aren't you tired because you're up and at it at 3:55? Aren't you tired by 10 a.m.? Like right now, it's basically your 8 p.m., isn't it? Yeah,
but you know what though? I just feel like I really feel like I'm so excited about life that it's just like, I focus now on getting the most out of every day that I have. By 10 o'clock at night, I'm ready if there's nothing going on, I'm fast asleep on the couch or whatever. It's funny too. I told you, and I'm not going to show everybody, but because it's bruised bad. But another example was I was, now here's the bad side of being Tom Laidlaw. So there are some times that I think that I'm just indestructible, right? That I can do anything. So I was walking in our parking lot, and I knew there's black ice there. And I thought, well, I'm Tom Laidlaw. I'm just going to walk over that black ice, and that's going to be fine. Well, as soon as I stepped on the ice, my feet just went flying out from underneath me. And I was holding something in one hand, and I was about to go face first in cement. And I put my forearm down to stop myself. And oh God, I think I'm okay. It works fine like that. But I'm not going to show anybody because it's gross. But I got a bruise from my elbow up to my shoulder on my arm.
Now, was it dark out, or did anybody see?
Oh, no. No excuses. Oh, well, that was a big thing. The male ego kicked in right away. I was looking around to make sure nobody saw me. I didn't really care about my elbow. I just wanted to make sure nobody saw me at all. But
when I fall, I was so mad. I'm so loud when I fall, everyone would know.
And I was so mad at myself too, because it was the typical, nope, I can do it. I'm going to walk right over this ice, which helps me. I love that attitude that I have and other people have too, that accomplish things. I'm going to go do it. Yeah. But there's times you're literally going to fall down, and you got to get back up. Yeah.
Yeah. Humbled.
Yeah. Oh, totally humbled. And it was funny. A woman was walking by, a minute before with her poodle, and we were talking about the fact that there was black ice there. And she was saying, yes, a friend of hers fell down and broke her hip. And I'm like, again, and I'm typical, like, well, that won't happen to me. So down I went. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, interesting that you mentioned that. And maybe, for your good deed, do you have any salt you can throw down next time? Maybe
yes,
we'll get that.
They are usually it's a condominium complex where I am, so they're usually pretty good. They have people that they hire to come and do that most of the time.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. But again, they don't get there like at 4:00 in the morning when I'm out going for a march.
That's true. Yeah. So maybe you carry like a little, like when you notice it's going to be below freezing, you carry a bag of salt with you on your way out to the gym.
I like it. Very nice.
I'm sorry to add a task to your life, but
I'm going to head to Home Depot right away. As soon as we're done here, I'm heading to Home Depot.
But the reason I mentioned that is honestly, one of my clients actually works quite a lot with, how do you say, research related to end of life, of what it's like to live end of life. And, if you're an older person, you break your hip, it is really tough to get mobile again. Yeah. It is really tough. I mean, that's a big deal. That's like a game changer for an older person. Yeah. And, they almost have to, like, as they're rehabilitating, almost not get back into a wheelchair and force themselves to just keep moving and to keep trying. So if there are older people in your complex, they'll really appreciate you looking out for them.
Right. I'm getting the salt today. That's a good idea by you. But you raised a good point, though, the keep moving thing. And again, you've got to be careful, because if you've hurt yourself to the point where if you keep moving, you're going to make it worse, then you have to listen to doctors and trainers and all that stuff. But yeah, I agree with you. Like I find for me, like I found my elbow, it works fine. It bends and all that kind of stuff. So it's fine. But there's a nasty bruise there. But I think the worst thing is you just sit there and not move it at all. It just seize up on it. To me, that's kind of the way to think about life too, right? I mean, I use this phrase, sitting is quitting. So like I have this thing now where if I'm in the gym, I can never let myself sit down. As soon as I start sitting down, then my workout. I know
it's over. Once you lose momentum, I just sometimes I'll just stare out the window and be like, oh, look at those birds or that duck. I'm like, no, back. Do you know the word for focus? You can remember the shoot. I'll say it to myself, shoot.
Shoot. Yes. Japanese word for
focus. Shoot.
Shoot. So is it like shoot you?
No, it sounds a little bit like that. Shoot you.
Okay. Shoot you.
Say
I like
that to yourself.
I can be yelling in the gym. Shoot you.
Yeah. Well, if you Ben can help you with some really like Japanese coach style language. We'll get Ben hooked up with you so you can really say it like you mean it.
I like it. So
actually, my phone ringtone is Ben yelling and swearing at me in Japanese.
Japanese. That's good. So we've learned ito and shuchu today in Japanese. Ito is intention, shuchu is focus. Oh, I like that. Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, it is good. I like learning the kanji, and next time I'll do better about trying to tell you what each of these little character parts means. But I do find that having a picture, having the kanji is somehow more meaningful than just the word, because each kanji is like a little picture. It tells a story almost. It's really cool. Hey, I wanted to tell you something about my own self-treatment that actually ended up working out okay, but it's along the lines of the Tom Laidlaw tough love, never stop moving. I ripped my Achilles, not exactly my Achilles, but my calf, like above my Achilles. I ripped it in the middle of kendo 3 weeks before my 2nd degree black belt exam. Just 3 weeks prior, I felt and heard a pop, and I thought someone had hit me with their shinai in the leg. It was that audible. I looked around and there were no little kids hitting me. I was like, ooh, this could be bad. This could be me actually having popped something. So I went and checked it out, and it popped. But, my thinking was, so you got 2 choices in the American kind of way of modern medicine. You have the choice of going to physical therapy and going through rehab. And actually they gave me a boot, those big black boots to kind of demobilize your foot. Yeah. They gave me that and crutches even. And I was like, I have a black belt exam in 3 weeks. This isn't going to work. I need to figure out how to be able to, because then you have to wait 6 months. If I missed that one, I was waiting 6 months. I didn't want to fall behind. I really wanted to stay on track because we were going to move. So I decided that the better thing to do, and I did check this out with an orthopedic surgeon. I checked it out with a physical therapist. I wasn't just like cuckoo alley. I did actually go check out my plan. My plan was unusual. They didn't think it would work. But it wasn't, physiologically flawed. There was some logic to it. It's just they had not actually seen someone really do this. But basically, I was thinking that if you so your muscle is going to, when you have pain, it's like your muscle has frozen in place and it's protecting yourself and it's guarding. And like all of the little fibers are going, don't hurt me again. I'm going to tighten up. Well, I was thinking, I need to help loosen that fascia and I need to keep it moving while I'm building strength. And so that's what I did both. I just kept stretching it slightly. I didn't overstretch it. And then I was doing like, when you stand on a curb and you do calf raises. So I was doing that too. And wouldn't you know, literally, I was ready for my black belt exam.
Very cool.
I was able to do it. But 30 seconds before my black belt exam, guess what broke? I have, they're called MyFitPal, and they're little ties that go around your men, which is your helmet.
Right.
There's a big, it looks like your hockey face mask almost. There's like metal cage. It's a metal cage, but you have to tie it on. The MyFitPal broke 30 seconds before my black belt. So I'm like, okay, so my calf sprang apart and my MyFitPal broke. How is this going to go?
So what'd you do?
I did fine.
Oh,
I passed,
nice.
but when you have 5 sensei who are hachidan, the highest level sensei watching you, it's incredibly, you just want to honor your sensei who have taught you, and you want to do not only your best, but you want to do well.
So here's my story. I'm guessing probably 15 years ago, I was getting all like the tingly stuff in my hand, and somebody said, "Well, you're getting carpal tunnel." So I went to a doctor. He x-rayed it. And he says, yeah, you got carpal tunnel. And he says, you're going to have surgery, but here's a brace to wear for about a month. Like, try something different if you want, but you're going to have to come back in a month to get surgery. He's pretty confident. Good guy and everything too. We dealt with him before. So I go home. I throw the brace into the garbage. Like, I'm mad now. Nobody's telling me that I've got carpal tunnel. And I same as you. It's like I just stretched my rest out more. And I know this sounds a little strange, but I'm really a big believer in the mental part of it too. That I just determined that I wasn't going to have carpal tunnel anymore. I stretched it, and I didn't have carpal tunnel anymore. So
that's really interesting, because I thought I had it too, and I actually went to doctor for it because I was losing feeling right here in these 2 fingers, and some in my thumb, and some here, and like it was all radiating from my shoulder. So I thought it was like maybe some bad ergonomics, because I keep a very tiny workspace. I don't want a huge desk and stuff. So I was thinking maybe my ergonomics were off. I went to the physical therapist, and it turns out it was actually a pinched nerve in my neck that was radiating down here. And so she has been working on my neck, and I've been trying to sit and stand and drive differently. And I don't have the tingling all the time anymore. It's going away. So shout out to the physical therapists who treat you like an entire, they see the whole body. They don't just treat one organ system. They are really incredible.
Definitely. All right. So let's recap today then. We learned Ito is intention.
Yes.
We learned Shuchu is focus.
Yes.
I like that. I'm going to be yelling in the gym. Shoot you. People think I'm going to say shoot you, like I'm shooting somebody or something.
No, so do this. Do shuchu stay.
Shuchu stay.
Shuchu stay. Yeah, here.
All right.
I'm going to write it down.
We have to have a Japanese class one day too, like speak Japanese.
Maybe with an actual Japanese speaking person and not a gaijin like me.
Shuchu stay. I like it.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Shuchu stay. That way you won't sound like you're saying something really bad.
Also, it looks like I'm trying to shoot a dog, right? Shoot you, stay. Stay. All right, learn those words. We also learned, as far as our food, our initial thought was just when we were talking a couple weeks ago, was that the food, the less expensive food was easier to get for people, but not as healthy for you. But we realize now that with some preparation, going to the store, preparing your own foods, that you can have healthy food for a much cheaper price. So again, I think you and I feel the same way. We want to keep pounding that into people that, you don't have to go to McDonald's and Wendy's. It's okay to do it once in a while, but there's a lot of other options just by going to the store, preparing. And once you bought your Tupperware, you bought your coolers and all that kinds of stuff, then you can get away with that pretty good.
And your food is right there. Like, you actually get more time to yourself in the middle of the day. If you're bringing it to work or whatever, you don't have to go out and scavenge for food because you have it right there. I'm really hoping, maybe your grasshoppers can vote. I really hope that a very good friend of mine who's a nutritionist and amazing will be not too shy and will actually come on your show. I'm trying to convince her to not be shy, because then she can talk about some other ideas and help correct our thinking on stuff. We can ask her anything. She's incredible encyclopedia.
She can't be shy with us. That's fine. That's
what I told her.
We'll protect her. It's no problem at all. All right, Allie, great job again. Way to do your homework. And again, so now as soon as the show gets done, I want everybody to know that Allie will be immediately doing homework for next week's show. So
right. Give me the homework assignment, grasshoppers, okay? Not too hard.
That's right. All right, Allie, great to see you again.
Thank you, Tom.